Well, how are you doing, folks? This is Incomitatum, and I'm back. Let's just give a quick little intro because I'm sure that I didn't do a good one last time. Yeah, when you start out crafting, you might have an epic fail, and I kind of did. So you'll see here is some parchment paper, and in the last one I did, I rolled my crap out, and I didn't put it down on parchment paper, and I wasted the last little bit of product I had in my old tubs of epoxy sculpt. Well, I didn't quite waste it all. I was able to peel up pieces of it. The problem is, not only did it make it a waste to do that, but I gave it an hour or two. With this stuff, you make it, you whip it up, and then you come back an hour and a half later to even start on your sculpt. And I said, it was late at night, and I'm like, I'm really liking whatever I'm doing. I don't know if I was playing a game or watching Vikings or something. But I said, I'll just give it another hour. And then with a normal mix, that would have been fine. It was not fine because this brown cardboard paper sucked all the moisture and oil out of it, whereas the parchment paper and the saran wrap, when you mix it, when you roll it out with with the wobbly man, what the hell do they call that? Rolling pin, golly. Yeah, it's fine. You come back an hour later and then you start. So I finally got to do that tonight. Life's been kind of hectic. So, but that didn't mean that I wasn't doing shit all week in preparation for tonight. And so I don't know if you guys got to see the weird drawings I've been doing or the stickers or any of the other stuff. But this is a pattern I made in Illustrator. Because when I learned how to draw the squishy, cute, chibi anime face, I wanted to sculpt that. Because I've been playing Zelda Breath of the Wild, I wanted to get my hands working, making little gelfling faces. So what this pattern is, it's my attempt to come out with a form. And right in here, I was going to have a piece of PVC. That's why I offset it. See right here. It was weird to look through the camera and touch the paper, but so I offset it. Well, somewhere along the way, because my sister and I had a weird little tiff about toilet paper rolls, I thought, what if I did a toilet paper roll? Because here's the other thing. This is the finished model to scale. Where I've got the dotted lines is the core that I wanted to build up. It just so happens that to scale, the toilet paper roll ends with the perfect height. I had no idea when I did this. It's the perfect height. It goes right up to the eyes. My original plan was to build the head out of wet newspaper like I did for this figure. This is what I was able to make out of that amount that I didn't botch. In fact, you can see that some cardboard, some brown paper is stuck to his nose. We'll see how that ends up when it's time to sand this guy. So, what ended up happening tonight is I just would plug this hole with a half-assed ball of newspaper and then masking tape it down. And it had this nice little bullet shape, but not out here, because I know that this stuff, when you roll it out, is going to be about a quarter of an inch thick on both sides. So you got to come in. If I want my final design to be out here-ish, and so I went for it. And I felt shitty at first. I thought I was going to be dumb, but this material, this epoxy sculpt, again, it's weird. You don't just go for it. It's not sculpey. You mix some up and you come back an hour and a half later, and then you work, and then you slap it on and you put details, and then you come back an hour later after that, and you make more grooves, and you got to babysit it if you want. And that's why epoxy sculpt is different than fix-it sculpt. Now, I decided to gamble and get some fix-it sculpt. And if I can show you, it might not show up on the camera. Yeah, you can kind of see. This fat horse I'm doing for my mom's Christmas. The body and the head and some of the other chunks of it are made out of epoxy sculpt. But all this more brown, reddish hued stuff is made out of fix-it sculpt. And I still got some left. I'm going to do a mane on this guy, and I'm going to make it, excuse me, and I'm going to make it out of fix-it sculpt. He's going to have a cowboy hat, to which where did it go? Anyway, I've already sculpted his hat wherever the hell it got off to. It's rolling around here anyway. It's not very big, but I'm going to do the brim of the hat, and I need to sand his head a little more flat so that the other model sits on there. And then I'm going to Dremel away a little spot on his butt. The other thing I might do is my sister came into a squeezy thing. What is this? Yeah. This is like one of those Play-Doh things. You put one of these little round coins in there and you extrude it. An extruder is the word I'm looking for. Anyway, so tonight's crafts, I've already sat with them and done the 4, 5, 6 hours into it. They're hardening. They're not very pliable at this point, but I wanted to show you everything that they've become. Now, the other annoying thing is when it came time to open these tubs, this material, the A, let's see, that's the B. The B is always going to be dark and gross looking and smell like burnt Fritos. But the A component in the other material I was working with was white. See? And this stuff is rock hard. This is why I love it. This stuff, dark gray. So it's a little harder to see the details in this. I don't like it. I'm going to live with it. But it's another reason why I'm doing the videos, because I'm like, the details are really not going to show up unless you see it change in the light, you're not going to understand the shape of this weird little dude. So he'll get sanded after he dries. Here's another weird little, I kind of cut slots in it for some eyelids. I'll carve those in later. Kind of a sheep llama thing. They're going to have clothes, and in fact on this one you can see he's going to be a little samurai bunny via the template that I had. Come on guys, we got to move everything out of the way now. I've dirtied up my own camera space here. But via the template you can kind of see the line. Sorry if I let the camera get all wobbly there. I probably did. Yeah. Anyway, you can kind of see that this is where their shirt would end kind of down here. And if I want to model in feet, now the samurai bunny is going to have kind of a long flowy thing, so I don't have to model feet. It's not meant to be a cop-out, but it will be. This weird deer, I think, is going to be some sort of priestess. So she's going to have robes, and I won't have to worry about feet. This is going to be a cross between, and it's going to be for my wife, a cross between Penelope Von Sweet and Toadette. In fact, you might have seen me draw her on Instagram. Only her face was more dumb because I was teaching myself how to draw faces in the middle of the week. But I also carved the line here because she's kind of going to be wearing a beret. She's still tacky in the back of her head. So, I don't know if you got to see her well. There's a turnaround. And here, the toilet paper roll is real thin, so I couldn't carve any more into that. I'm going to probably have her hair come down over this eye anyway. I'm going to give her little goggles. And in fact, the other day, that shit that I was able to salvage from the last batch is going to go, can I do this with one hand, on a toilet paper roll. Just a second. So, and that's before I even knew that I was using the toilet paper roll. I'm going to have to marry them up better in the back. This is why this was folded like this. Something. One-handed, folks. A little more like that. There. Alright. And he's going to be a World War I pilot. With a brimming, just a positively smashing mustache. Oh, the places you'll go. Jolly ho. Yeah, that'll be from my dad. I couldn't think of what to do. I just knocked all my babies down. Dummy. Yeah, they're top-heavy little totems, for sure. I'm hoping that I'm not going to have to stick weights up inside of them, but especially once they have a body, because that'll be rigid enough that, I can, like if the bunny was wobbly, I could just stick one of his toes sticking out of his robes to help center him. We'll see. Him, I want to have reaching for his knife. And I don't know if I'm going to model a sheath out of the Fix-It sculpt, but see, that's the other thing, is I need to do some drawing and figure out what am I going to go forth and do with epoxy sculpt versus a Fix-It sculpt. Yeah, so my next step when I end the video is I'm going to basically build little bodies for each of them out of newspaper and masking tape. The reason you do that is because this stuff is not stupid expensive, but you don't really want to gamble any of it. I can leave my lids off as long as I want, but, once you mix them up, then it's permanent. And, like, if I had known better, and when I do these in the future, I'm going to build the back of the head out better, instead of just making a round plug on the top of a toilet paper roll. I'm going to actually build the back of the head out. Yeah, just like this. Okay. This is the toilet paper roll. I'm going to build the back of the head out to come out over the lip, because that's what all these do. But in not building the back of the head out, some of these are going to be needing more sanding than others. But in not building the back of the head out, I actually wasted more product. Yeah. This is going to have some issues. I'm going to have to really sand it down to put a transition on her. This is why they also might, mostly for the, get popped collars. So, well, this is almost 15 minutes long. I think I was mostly coherent with my speeches. I think you get the idea of what I'm doing. This is going to be Merry Christmas, but, I just love working with this stuff. I was saying earlier, as I was working on this little dude, trying to figure out where to put the shadows and the highlights and stuff, where to put a ridge. I don't know, man. This stuff has a song to it. And as you're working with it, you'll see another little crease here and there. It's kind of like, it just feels right. So, thank you for everything you do to encourage me to keep making weirdness. And soon, I'm making these right now as my weird prototypes, and I'm giving them as gifts to family, because not only does that make my heart sing to give my art as gifts, but they're prototypes. My family's going to be a little less judgy, and, the next time I make something like this, it'll be even better. So, you don't know what you can't do if you don't try. And like I like to leave all my videos, be good to each other. Like and subscribe, or all that stuff. Stay warm. And happy holidays. Merry Christmas. This has been your host, In Commentatum.